Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Old Colony YMCA's Rise Up Virtual Gala. I'm Billy Costa from The Maddie Show on KISS 108. Thrilled to be back serving as your Master of Ceremonies for this, the 4th annual Rise Up Gala. Now, I don't have to tell you this year has been a little different, a little crazy. We'd love to be meeting with you as usual in the big, beautiful ballroom at the Marriott Quincy, but you know what? We're happy you can join us tonight with your family and socially distanced friends. And how about this? From the safety and comfort of your own home. Sure, I'd love to be in the ballroom, rubbing shoulders, mixing and mingling, hanging out at the table, hanging out at the bar, having a cocktail. But how cool is it that you get to sit at home on a beautiful, comfortable couch, pour yourself a glass of wine, possibly a creative cocktail, and enjoy this virtual gala. But I do need your help to get the night started. We really want to see who's joining us tonight, okay? So use the chat box to let us know how you're doing, share your favorite emoji, whatever it takes. I've got a giant screen in front of me and we can interact. We can communicate throughout the night, just like we're sitting at a table together. For instance, David Hyman is out there. He says hello. He's happy to be here. The Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro South, excited to be here. Jane Callahan says, have a great night, everybody. And Pam is out there from Cranberry Country Chamber of Commerce, celebrating and supporting the Old Colony YMCA. So let's keep talking. Let's keep communicating through the night. And let's raise a lot of money than we ever have. Even though we're not able to do it together in person, we are still able to be together virtually and celebrate and rise up to help those who need us the most. And again, welcome in, everybody. We've got a great night planned for you. We're going to raise a lot of money, all, of course, for the Old Colony YMCA. Now, some of you may have already been bidding on the great items in the silent auction, and thank you for that, but please keep the bids coming. And we also have a live auction that's going to actually start and end very quickly. We're calling it a race against the clock. We're doing it a little bit different this year, but it's going to be really, really exciting, and I beg you, let's raise a ton of money during the live auction as well, which is just minutes away. And another way you can support the Y is to participate in our Fund a Need, which, by the way, directly impacts those who are struggling, and it supports critical Y programs, especially during these challenging times. Now, in order to bid, you'll need to have 2 devices during the program, bidding on your phone or smart device like an iPad. They will work best. And if you haven't registered yet, well, now would be a great time to do so. Let's get the party started. You can find the link in the chat box or simply text OCY Rise Up 20 to 76278, and that'll take you directly to the registration page. But don't worry, our silent auction is going to be open until 9 o'clock. Don't panic. If you've got bids that are active in the silent auction, just occasionally revisit your bid and make sure you're still in the game. You know what? If you get up to get somebody else a glass of wine or possibly a snack or an hors d'oeuvre, well, while you get up, check in again on the silent auction and make sure you're still in the active game. Now, a lot of people to thank for making tonight happen. A lot of work goes into this virtual thing. It's all very new to us. So a huge thank you to our top sponsors. Harbor One Bank, thank you. L. Knife and Son, Hologic, Carol and Chuck Duckendorf, thank you. And the Rich Melia Family Foundation, thank you so much. And thank you to all of our other sponsors for supporting the work and the mission that is the Old Colony YMCA. Instrumental in any great organization is its leader. And I'm going to introduce the president and CEO of the Old Colony YMCA. I wish I could be there in person to see Vinny Moderano. No, Vinny has been leading this YMCA, how about this, 28 years? And I think he would agree that this year, 2020, has been one of the most challenging, and that's why we need your help more than ever tonight. So I'm pleased to introduce Vinny. He can tell you about the wonderful work you're going to be supporting and why now more than ever we need to rise up for our community. So over to you, Vinny.
Thank you, Billy. We appreciate you being with us once again this year. Before we begin to tell you about the unique mission and cause of our Y, I'd like to first acknowledge what an unprecedented year this has been for all of us. First of all, speaking to you tonight through a camera is a big change for me. I sincerely miss all of you gathered together and having the opportunity to personally shake your hand and greet you. I hope that that day will come soon. Of course, all of you know the reason we've decided to hold the virtual event this year. The spread of the COVID-19 has done nothing short of turning our world upside down. For many children and families in our community, the virus affected every facet of life. On top of the serious risks of health of loved ones, and many homes also experienced a loss of job or income, food insecurity, increased anxiety, depression, and other mental health needs, and inequities in education and technology. The Y, as always, was able to respond to those in need. I will tell you that in some ways, our Y perhaps can be viewed as the first responder. We are fortunate in that we were able to distribute almost 5,000 meals per week during the shutdown to families. We conducted more than 1,500 televisits through our mental health clinic. We provided emergency childcare for first responders daily for approximately 340 kids. And we continued to provide shelter for the 63 families and 120 young people that live with us who are experiencing homelessness. Tonight, you'll hear stories from our Y family about how they personally were affected by the crisis and how the Y was there to support them. You'll hear from some of essential employees and first responders who kept the Commonwealth running during the shutdown. You'll hear from some of our past keynote speakers who really have become YMCA celebrities. You'll hear about two incredible honorees, Sullivan Tire and Jim Blake of Harbor One Bank. And we even have a special guest or two, but I'll leave them to Billy to introduce. I know that as the evening goes on, you'll have a much fuller, deeper appreciation for our work. So thank you for joining us tonight, and welcome to the Old Colony Y's 4th Annual Rise Up Gala.
Great job, Vinny, and thank you. Listen, over the past several months, the Y has been rising to the challenge, and so have you, and you're doing it again tonight. I can look at the board. We're getting a lot of activity. Diane Bell says, glad to be here. Joyce Dwyer is out there, excited to be with everybody, albeit virtual. Angela Desmond says hello from Desmond's in Boston, Cape Cod, and Los Angeles. I don't even get to do this when I'm in the ballroom doing a live gala. Liza says, great to be here. Bill Pimenthal, glad to be a part of the Rise Up Gala. Also, shout outs to Karen Pimental. Jeff is out there. Lauren Bartell, looking forward to a great night, and I think we're off to a great start. So, listen, the Old Colony YMCA, the stuff they have been doing since this incredible pandemic just brought everything to a screeching halt. People have been struggling more than ever. And by the way, the Old Colony YMCA was selected by the Commonwealth to provide, how about this, emergency child care services to first responders and essential employees. And all of that came at no cost. The impact this has made on children and families during these trying times is infinite. And one example is Allison Simony, who I'd like to introduce to you right now.
I'm Allison Simony. I'm a physician assistant in orthopedics. Some of my other colleagues had issues with childcare right off the bat, and there was no sign in sight when they would open up again, and I was happy to have our facility open the very first day that it was available. COVID has been nerve-wracking as a mother, but also someone who has to be out and working. We were comforted to know that the Y was there, and right away they asked if we needed help. When the pandemic started, she was just finishing the preschool program here, and then kindergarten was starting, so Stoughton has a hybrid program right now, but the other 3 days we didn't know where Gianna would go. And so she is in part of the, I guess it's called the extended day program here, but it's full day. And so that allows us to be able to work. There's teachers helping her with her remote schoolwork, which has been excellent. I have nothing but good things to say about the Y, and I was happy that both of my children could go through their program. 100%. I would definitely recommend the Y.
Now, I'm very happy to introduce our next speaker, Eli Florence. Eli needs no introduction to most of you. He has been the chair of this event, and he's also the founder and the driving force behind the success. Eli has been an incredible volunteer supporter of our Y for so many years and is deeply invested in our mission and cause. He's here to talk with you tonight about the work of the Y and how you can help support it. I could go on and on about what Eli has done for our Y, but I know our time is running short and he's eager to get to the podium. So please join me in welcoming Eli Florence.
Thank you. I hope everyone has enjoyed the event so far. And I know Billy and our team still have a few more surprises for you tonight. And most important, there's still plenty of time to support the critical social service and youth programs of the Old Colony YMCA. As Vinnie mentioned a few moments ago, this has been a year unlike any other, and everyone in our community has been affected. But what Vinnie didn't say is that the Y has also significantly been affected. For several months, branches, camps, and childcare centers were closed, and those operations were forced to pivot and serve the community in new ways. Meanwhile, dozens of social service programs, including emergency housing, mental health, juvenile justice, and street outreach, were considered essential and continued to run, albeit in a much different world. These closures and major operational changes placed a huge burden on the Y, but they continued to respond and to fulfill their commitment to the community. Tonight, we all have an opportunity to support that work through our Fund a Need program and online auction. We need you now more than ever. Before I throw it back to Billy, I want to acknowledge that this event would not be possible without a lot of hard work by many associated with the Old Colony Y. The Gala Committee, including both staff and volunteers who believe in the Y's mission and work to make this event possible. I'd like to sincerely thank the Y staff, who do most of the work, volunteers, board of directors and board of governors, our guest speakers, our generous sponsors, and of course our honorees, Jim Blake of Harvard One Bank and the Sullivan Tire Company. This gala is our single largest fundraising event for the Old Colony Y. In the past 3 years, we have raised over $1.4 million to support the critical programs you will hear more about tonight. Those include families experiencing homelessness, mental health and substance abuse clinics, at-risk youth, kids and families in foster care, teens exposed to DYS, DCF, and the DMH systems, mentoring youth leadership, Y-ability for kids with special needs, child care scholarships, and of course, summer camp scholarships. That is why we are watching tonight. Thank you for joining us from your homes. Please open your hearts and especially your wallets. Follow the instructions on the screen and enjoy the evening. Thank you.
No, thank you, Eli. It's, I think I speak for everybody when I tell you it's great to have you back as chair of this incredible event for yet another year. And I got to say, what a story. How can you not be inspired to be more, to do more, after hearing the stories we've already heard so far? And there are so many more stories coming, inspirational stories. And for those of you who know me and have heard my own personal story, listen, I'm a Y kid. Okay, it goes way back to East Cambridge. My family grew up extremely poor. We didn't have much. We didn't go anywhere. We couldn't travel. My brother and I really depended on the Y for pretty much everything we did. Ski trips, I couldn't have gone on a ski trip, but I did, and the Y ended up teaching me how to ski. We would play pickup basketball games, my brother and I. We got to meet kids from all around the city that we otherwise wouldn't have met. And it got me into sports at an early age. It got me into running. I've run 12 Boston marathons. I wouldn't have run a single mile if the YMCA hadn't gotten me into it a long time ago. It basically afforded me so many opportunities, both basic and beyond, and I will never, ever forget my memories and the support me and my family got from the YMCA. Bottom line, they've been doing it forever for families all over. And so many kids and their families depend on the Y for so much in their lives. And speaking of Y stories, I'm really excited to introduce our next guest, a real Y celebrity, if you will, as she's come to be known. You might remember if you joined us at our first gala back in 2017, a young woman named Honoree Mercado absolutely stole the show with an incredible speech. Well, tonight, as a little bit of a surprise, we're going to check in with each of our past keynote speakers and see what they've been up to and what's going on. And to start, here she is, Honoree.
So if you have always wondered, or if you look around the YMCA and are not sure, please remember me. I am standing here tonight as a proud example of your YMCA return on human investment. Hello, everyone. It's me, Ibrahim Mediata. I cannot believe that it's been 3 years since I shared my story at the Rise Up Gala. I just want to say thank you for your continued support. As you can see, I'm a business owner. I opened up Empower Nutrition a year ago, last year. And, you know, there's been ups and downs, but, you know, we are super grateful that we get to serve our community and we get to help our community and show them how they can choose to live a healthy and active lifestyle. I'm a mom of a 4-year-old now. My son actually goes to the West Chestnut YMCA childcare, and he loves it there. He wakes up every morning, you know, asking me, hey, let's go. You know, I want to see my friends. And the staff there, you know, I know that they're giving him the love and support that was given to me, and I'm forever grateful for that. So thank you so much for what you continue to do for the YMCA, and have a great evening, everybody.
It's great to hear from you, Honoree, again. She's an inspiration. She represents the best of the YMCA. Hello, everyone. I'm Kevin Washington, President and CEO of the YMCA of the USA, and it's my pleasure to be a part of Old Colony YMCA's Rise Up Gala this year. It's been a very difficult year for our country, our communities, and our organization. COVID-19 has had a devastating financial impact on YMCAs. But despite these hardships, Ys have been on the front lines of our nation's response to this pandemic from the beginning, meeting the most pressing needs of our communities. I'm incredibly grateful for the generous response from friends like you who've stepped forward to support this essential work. You know, the Old Colony YMCA is a leader in our movement when it comes to engaging and serving the entire community, particularly young people. This work is more important than ever, and you make it possible. Thank you for your ongoing support of the Old Colony YMCA. You are strengthening your community. Stay safe, be well, and take care. And again, thank you.
Hi, I'm Christy Anderson, and I am a district student support coordinator for a high school on the South Shore. I was told at a very young age that I could never have children. So at 39, I was surprisingly pregnant. I was alone. I was living in a house in Bridgewater that just was not very safe for Charlie and I. Thankfully, my mom was able to let us come in, and money was really tight. So the Y was very giving to me for the scholarship for the first time, where I was able to breathe and felt like she was going to be in a safe place. I remember walking in and they took Charlie right away. Charlie went right into their arms, never cried. The love that was in the room, dropping her off, she was the main focus for that staff. And I remember having tears in my eyes, and I still do now. And they looked at me and they said, "We got her mama, she's fine." And I remember taking a deep breath and walking out bawling, but knowing Charlie was safe at the Y for the first time. I am deemed an essential employee. I am on the administrator side at a high school, but my job in the high school is to support students in mental health. And I was told that I am to work during COVID because our kids were at home. They struggled being at home. We had a lot of mental health. I did a lot of hospitalizations. Because the daycare stayed open and Donna was able to have Charlie come, saved me keeping my job.
We didn't really close at all, so we went from regular childcare to emergency childcare. It was parents that we'd never met before, children that we never met before. We didn't skip a beat. We tried to keep everything the same to try to keep things normal for the children. You know, we had parents that worked in hospitals, school systems, nursing homes. They worked at Dunkin' Donuts. They were essential employees. So that's what my goal was here, was to make it an easy transition and make this feel normal.
And because they were opened, I was able to reach the kids I needed to, and they were able to reach my child in that moment, so it was full circle.
That's our biggest goal here, is meeting the needs of the children and the families.
It was definitely a game changer for me, for my life, and they were wonderful to me as a support. They would call, they always checked in, and it changed me as a mom because it taught me how to be able to trust others, to take care of your baby, because mom guilt is real, and it changed my life, to be honest. The Y saved Charlie and I.
I told you you were going to hear some incredible stories. You were going to meet some inspirational people, and we are, and that will continue. And before we get back to that, we're getting a lot of activity on the big giant screen here. Jane Callahan is reaching out. Jen Campbell, round of applause from Jen Campbell on this incredible virtual event. Katie Barnacle. How about this? Rick Astley, now you know him. He's a singer from the 80s, and lately he's been in the news. In fact, just today, I think he joined TikTok. So somebody sent in a message. Rick Astley says hi. Listen, I'm loving the emojis. I'm loving the shout outs, but let's get more interactive stuff going. I want to know what you're doing while you're watching this virtual event. Are you sitting with family, sitting with friends? What are you having for dinner while you watch this virtual gala? I really want to know, but I do want to thank Irami for taking some time to check in with us again, and we are wishing her all the best. And we also want to thank Kevin Washington. I mean, how cool is that when the president of YMCA of the USA joins us for our virtual gala? That gives you an idea as to the impact the Old Colony YMCA is making. They're being acknowledged around the country, so it's always great to hear how Old Colony Y has become a national leader and basically a model in social service programming. And finally, Christy, thank you for all that you do, for all the families and the children that you support. The work is never ending for you. Thank you so much. And there are so many families who say a big thank you to you. And your story is incredible. It speaks to the Y's ability to remain essential throughout this crazy pandemic. Vinny's actually referred to the Y as, how about this, the first responder's first responder. And I think that's never been more true than it is right now during these crazy times. Now, earlier in the night, I said we were going to raise a lot of money. And I've got my fingers crossed. So far, so good. We are doing fine. But now is our chance. It's your chance. We've got some great live auction items. We're going to do it a little differently this year since we're not all in the same room. I can't jump off the stage and go from table to table and have a lot of fun with people who are bidding up and bidding up. But for those of you who have been bidding online, please keep the bidding coming, especially on the silent auction. We've also have the live auction items up for bid. So if you've been bidding, we thank you, but we just want you to keep things coming. Lillian says the Y is just incredible in her life. Linda Dean just checked in, helped support this important work. So I'm going to get into the live auction, okay? And again, it's going to be very different, but you're going to love it. I think it's going to be exciting. And we have the first set of items. We're going to do it in clusters, if you will, in groups. And I've got items 1 through 4, and the bidding will happen at the same time on all 4 items, and they will all close at the same time. So you're basically bidding against the clock. It's a race against the clock. It's going to be fun. But if you don't want to miss out on one of these items, you've got to pay attention to the clock and get in before I shut it down, okay? First up is a trip to Barbados. This is 7 to 10 days for as many as 6 people. And by the way, an adults-only all-inclusive resort. It's located right next door to the infamous Sandy Lane, where all the celebrities stay. I mean, Simon Cowell stays there, Rihanna stays there, Mark Wahlberg stays there. The resort has everything you need, everything you could possibly want. So that's up for bid right now. The current bid on Barbados for 10 nights, 6 people is $1,000. Keep those bids coming. How about a pizza party for 40 people? And again, these items you put away and you wait until it's safe to travel. Wait until it's safe to have parties of 40 people, but you'll have it in the bank. And we want to thank Montilio's, Boston's original cake boss, is going to come to your home or your neighborhood. You can have a block party for 40 people with pizza. It's a great block party, a birthday party, or just an example of celebrating with 40 of your nearest and dearest, especially once we are over this pandemic. Pizza party right now is at $1,000. Third in the cluster, how about this? Tom Brady, no longer with the Pats, but we still love him. He's still the GOAT, and he's still proving he is one of the best that ever played the game. So we have a rare find. It's an official New England Patriots football signed by Tom Brady. This is exclusive. This is sports memorabilia. Nobody else is going to have this ball, okay? Because he's not here anymore. And the final item in the auction is a vacation at Naples Beach Hotel and Golf Resort. You determine what kind of vacation you want it to be. Why? Because we're giving you a $2,500 gift card to the Naples Beach Hotel and Golf Club, which means you go anytime you want. It's a beachfront hotel with golf, tennis, and a beautiful spa. It is the ultimate getaway. Now, the Naples Beach package is already at $1,600. Courtney is in on that. The Brady Ball is $600. That's a steal for you sports fans out there. David Florence is in at $600. Pizza Party, Eli Florence is in at $1,000. Barbados just jumped $200 to $1,200. The clock is running. Denise is in on Barbados. This is an awesome trip. Don't miss out on it. We've all been stuck in the house. We're all working in the house. We're all waiting for that time that we can travel again. We can have a glorious vacation. Barbados is your ticket. Denise is in at $1,200. Let's keep the bidding coming. Pizza Party at $1,000. I want to see it grow. Naples has to go higher. It's $1,600. The gift card is $2,500. And I'm going to put the clock on it right now. I'm going to give a countdown. You've got to get your bids in. I'm going to count down from 10. I want to see the numbers move. Now, $1,200 on Barbados. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I was just told in my ear, see, I've got one of these little gadgets in my ear. I was just told we can do 2 trips to Barbados. This is 2 trips for 10 nights for 6 people. The bid right now is $1,200. I'll tell you what I'll do. If somebody gives me $1,100, I will save Denise $100, and we'll do 2 trips at $2,200. We'll put it all in the bank. I need an $1,100 bid right now on Barbados for 10 nights. Who's in? Let me know. I'm listening. I'm waiting. Barbados, $1,100, 6 people for 10 nights. Make it happen. Don't let Denise take the only trip. There are 2 trips up for grabs. I'm waiting to hear, do I get an $1,100 bid? 6 people, divide it, go with friends, have them all pay a chunk. All right, I'm up to 13. There's Liza. She did even better. So I'm going to take the $1,300 from Liza, and I'll take the $1,200 from Denise, and we'll put $2,500 in the bank on Barbados. Eli, you get the pizza party at $1,000. David, you get the Brady Ball at $600, and the Naples Beach package grew. So we're going to give it to Eli Florence, $1,800, $2,500 gift card to Naples Beach Hotel and Golf Club. Give yourselves a round of applause. That's round 1, okay? We're going to wipe the screen. I've got a second cluster. This is good. I like bidding against the clock. I think this may be the way we do it all the time now. Okay, so here it is, the second section of live items. First up, boy, I'm getting excited. Whew. First up, 7 to 9 nights. You ready for this? 6 people, Antigua. Experience a private 100-acre peninsula on Antigua. We're talking clear, turquoise waters. You're dreaming about this right now, surrounding a private oasis. So there's the Antigua package. The bidding right now is at $2,000. Next up, we have a New England Patriots home jersey signed by the McCourty twins, Jason and Devin. The bidding on the jersey right now is $500. And by the way, the jersey is framed by Framers Workshop. We want to thank them for that. Add this to the man cave or your rec room, your sports memorabilia room, whatever. And by the way, I'm told we may hear from the McCourty twins a little bit later in this program. How about fishing? A fishing trip. Go on out with Captain Michael Pertinock. He's the guy that will make it happen. This is a fishing trip. You and 3 of your best buddies for a whole day of fishing. It can happen in May or June, so you get through the winter, and you know you're going to be out on the open waters in Buzzards Bay, and you'll go with Captain Mike. So here's what we have. Oh, and I've got one more package, the King of Beer. The King of Beer. Okay, vintage beer bar sign, perfect for that guy who has the cave bar in your life, or for anybody. You know what, guys? You want a beer sign, this adds to your man cave, okay? Gives it a little flair. It's a conversation piece, okay? Be the king of beers, okay? You'll be the envy of all your buddies when they come over for the game. So here's the cluster, the way it looks right now. I've got $2,000 on Antigua from Denise. Denise is back in. I want to hang out with Denise. She seems like fun. The McCourty jersey is at $600. David Florence is bidding there. The fishing package, I like it. It's already up to $700. Eli's in again. And the beer sign, Eli is in on that at $500. Let's see it move. I'm going to give you the clock. Are you ready? I'll start at 20. Gives you a little bit more time. Panic time. You got to go and bid. Antigua's at $2,000. Antigua, we're going to start at 20, 19, 18, McCourty just went to 600. 17, fishing went to 700. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold off. I think, if I'm not mistaken, can we do a second Antigua trip, or did I make that up? Yes, we can, and we can do a second fishing trip, right? Okay. Not a second fishing trip. Scratch that. Okay. Antigua, I've got $2,000. If I get a second bidder, and again, this is 9 nights, Antigua, tropical paradise. Look at the pictures. If I get someone to go to 1,900, Denise is in at 2,000. Somebody at 1,900, I'll save Denise $100, a discount. And we'll do 2 trips to Antigua for $1,900 each. And I'm waiting to hear in my ear, if I get that second bid, we'll do 2 trips to Antigua. But in the meantime, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The McCourty twins jersey signed goes to David Florence for $600. The fishing trip, Howard Randall jumped in as a bidder, $800 on the fishing trip, and Eli Florence will get the King of Beers bar sign for $500. Still waiting on Antigua. 9 nights. Do I get a second bidder? I know I've got the trip. I don't want to waste it. Okay, I know I've got the trip. Denise, work with me here, okay? Work with me. Now we're pretending we're actually in the ballroom, okay? Here's the deal. Denise is bidding $2,000. If someone gives me $1,500, I'll save Denise $500. And I know Denise, she's going to pay the $2,000 anyway. And I'll do 2 trips at $1,500 each. I just took $500 off a 9-night trip to Antigua, and you can use it anytime you want. When they say it's safe to travel, if you feel better about traveling, you go then. You hold on to Antigua, and you go with a handful of friends. Okay, anybody giving me $1,500? If not, I'm still going to take $2,000 from Denise. So I'm waiting on the $1,500, and I'll give it a count. 10, 9, 8, 7. I know they're talking it over at home right now. Honey, it's $1,500, 9 nights. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Denise gets Antigua for $2,000. You know what? We're going to put that second trip in the bank. We'll have other events coming down the road, and we'll still have that trip to give away. So again, congratulations to David on the McCourty jersey. Congratulations to Howard on the fishing trip, and Eli on the beer sign. Now, if you haven't had a chance to win one of our great items, there's still an opportunity to support the Old Colony Y. So what we're going to do now is something we call Fund a Need. We do it when we do the live auction in the ballroom. So this means I'm going to spend a few minutes talking to you about a particular program or service that the Y offers. Really important community programs. And then I'm going to tell you how much it would cost to support that specific program. For those of you bidding online, you've already seen our Fund a Need levels listed, where you can just click and directly support, okay, the program of your choice. So here's the deal. It's an important way to directly support the Old Colony Y and much of what we're here tonight for, okay? So let's break it open. First up, very optimistically, I'm going to start at $5,000. And here's why. And I want to see this screen going nuts. Here's why. $5,000, you can support a family experiencing homelessness for an entire year. Imagine that. A family, young children without a home, you can provide that home for an entire year with just a $5,000 donation right now. They'll be given the sources, the services, the resources they need, including Y memberships, mental health, substance abuse counseling, and all kinds of mentoring. So I'm looking for $5,000 donations right now. Are those going to pop up on the screen? Will I see those? But I know later in the program, we'll be able to tell everybody how much money we raised in the Fund a Need, and that will continue forever. You can forever make donations. The next is $2,500. Now, this would help the Old Colony Y to distribute 1,000 meals to families who need them the most, okay? So if anybody wants to give $2,500, now would be the time. Please, this is virtual. They're breaking their backs to make this event happen. This is the most challenging time the Y has encountered in so many years, maybe ever. So now, tonight's the time to make a difference. For instance, $1,000. The Old Colony Y would provide a family access to 4 weeks of safe, affordable child care programming. That's just $1,000. So if you want to make a $1,000 donation, please get up and make it happen right now. And for $500, a deserving child would get to attend summer camp for 2 weeks. Think about that. 2 weeks of summer camp for $500 would change lives. These are children who otherwise probably would never see a camp in their entire life, but leave it to the Old Colony YMCA to make that happen, as they did, by the way, for me in my childhood. So go there for $500. That's a big one. And $250 would give students access to school supplies and critical technology they need to actively engage in their education, especially now with so many of these kids learning from home. As if that's not hard enough. Imagine you're doing it from home and you don't have the supplies you need. You don't have the electronics you need. So make that happen. And finally, think about this. If each and every one of you tuned in tonight could give $100, believe it or not, $100 pays for a counseling session for people who are, how about this, underinsured in these times or may need emergency care. In these times, as you can see, every dollar, I just got the chills, every dollar makes a difference. Every dollar changes a life. We've seen the signs. We are in this together. Well, tonight couldn't be a better time for all of us to be in this together. And by the way, thank you to those who helped us all rise up together to help those who cannot stand up alone in some cases. So remember, the silent auction is going to continue throughout the night until 9 o'clock. So we still have plenty to get into before then. And you won't believe who I have joining us. Now, we have some really special guests waiting to say hello. Some of you will recognize our first guests from Sunday afternoon football games. Oh, yeah. And some of you will recognize our second guest from a gala gone by. So without further ado, I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hey, what's up? Devin McCourty here, and I just want to say I guess not just even congratulations. Congratulations and thank you to the Old Colony House YMCA for all your efforts during the pandemic, whether it was emergency services, giving food to some of the people who didn't have it, shelter to the homeless. Just huge thank you for everything that you do. And I also want to say big thank you to all the people who donated, all the people who are fundraisers for the Rise Up Gala. And then again, if you hear this message, please give and support this YMCA. Doing great work in the community, and a community that needs your help. Please give. I urge you to do that. And thank you for hearing from me.
What's up, everybody? Jason McCourty here. I want to take the time to say thank you and congratulations to the Old Colony YMCA. The work that you've done during this pandemic has been tremendous. The groceries that you supply for families, the emergency services, the daily youth camps, the health initiatives. You guys have done so much, providing shelter for the homeless. It's a tough time for everybody, but it's people that work there and the people like you that make it a little bit easier in the tough times. So once again, congratulations and thank you for the continued work you do. And also, I want to say thank you to the sponsors of the Rise Up Gala. It's those type of efforts, the money that's being able to raise to make an impact that's huge. So I encourage all of you, go and give to the YMCA. Their initiative is huge. They're helping everybody during this time. So go and give, and I appreciate the support. Thanks.
My name is Claudio Moniz, and I'm here to represent the Y. You see, many people think that the Y is just somewhere that they can work out or learn how to swim. And while those are wonderful experiences for some, for others is so much more that the Y has to offer. Hello everyone, and welcome to the 2020 Rise Up Gala. I want to thank all of you guys for coming here to show your support for the YMCA and the families that they help. And I shared my story 2 years ago, but since then, I'm glad to say that I'm still working at the YMCA. I've recently been promoted to a site coordinator, working at a program where we help children of essential workers and teach them character development and just be the best role models that we can be for them. Now, I myself am currently 2 classes away from graduating to a 4-year college to study architecture. And it's all because of the support of people like you guys. And I just want to say once again, thank you and have a great day.
Claudio, can I just say we are so happy to see and hear from you. Boy, seeing some of these Y kids and their stories, I get the chills. We wish Claudio all the luck in the world with his work and with his school. I know he's looking to be an architect, and if he wants to be an architect, I trust that Claudio will be a top-level architect. Also, thanks to the McCourty twins for joining us as well. Best of luck to the entire team. Don't forget, they're in the Monday night game against the Jets. And I got to tell you, I've had a chance to meet with and interview the McCourty twins a few times. They are class guys. They are really nice guys. And by the way, a shout out. They've got a new TV show on Nesson, which means the McCourty twins and I are now kind of colleagues, if you know what I mean. So anyway, I know they're going to have a great game Monday night, so best to the McCourty twins. Now, somebody else who's going to be unbelievable is Amira. I talked about her earlier in the show, and she is coming up in minutes. Amira Humphreys. She's going to blow you away. She's going to bring the house down. She's going to knock your socks off, so you don't want to miss it. Please stick around. Trust me on this one, if you will, please. I've got some messages up on the board. Katie Barnacle loves the McCourty twins. Who doesn't? Jane Callahan, big round of applause from her. How about this? Vinnie Materano, who's co-hosting the show, is thanking everybody, including Tasha Creighton, for bringing the McCourty brothers to the gala. So I guess Tasha made the connection. And Julie Kennedy is out there and sending loves. So we hear about the impact the Y continues to make during these incredibly difficult times. But with support, individuals and families are not only able to meet their basic needs, but in some cases able to thrive. So I'd like to introduce you to Molly. Molly is a military officer working for the Massachusetts National Guard.
Hi, I'm Molly. I'm a military officer. I work full-time, but more importantly, I'm mother to LJ and Adeline. I work for the Massachusetts Army National Guard, and my unit was essential because we basically transported all the PPE across the state. So stuff would come in into Logan Airport, we would get it, and then transport it to the municipalities that needed it. Fortunately, the daycare stayed open, and I knew that it was an option. My husband and I chose to keep the kids out. We actually made the decision because we knew that there were other essential workers that had their kids go here, police officers, detectives, firefighters, etc. So we wanted a safe space for them. I'm an Army veteran, and leaving LJ was harder than going overseas. I was in tears, but Denise here, she was the teacher here, and I just felt like she was a grandmother. She became one of our family members.
I just hugged them. You know, I know how they feel without the mom being there, so I make them feel that they protect and they love.
So I instantly knew that this was the place. When I toured the facility, it was light, it was cheery, the kids were happy, and most importantly, all the teachers were really welcoming. When I pick them up, they don't want to leave. It's a struggle to get them out of here, not because they're unhappy at home, of course, but they love being here.
I've been thinking about the appropriate words to describe Jim and his leadership in our community. Obviously, Harbor One Bank has become a leading institution. But when you talk about the measures and what that means, we've all heard the saying that it starts from the top. Well, I can tell you that at Harbor One Bank, that is exactly the role that Jim plays. In addition to running and growing one of the finest and fast-growing institutions, it is a family of employees that are engaged in the local community. And I can tell you that virtually every part of Harbor One Bank and its outstanding employees are engaged in our work in one way or other. I would shudder to think what our YMCA would be like if not for the time, talent, and particular human resources that Harbor One Bank has provided to us, and more importantly, has provided the opportunity for us to better serve the so many families that rely on Y services in this community. Tonight, I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to recognize Jim Blake, CEO and Director of Harbor One Bank, with our Leadership Award. Jim has been an incredible supporter of our Y since the early 1990s, when he served for a number of years as chair of our annual fundraising campaign. Today, he continues to serve our Y on two board committees, the Board Leadership and the Investment Committee. Today, Harbor One has truly become an extension of our Y family. They've been by our side as we've expanded our summer learning and emergency housing programs, not to mention the funding of critical scholarships for camp and childcare families. In addition to financial support, which has totaled nearly $500,000 over the last 2 decades, Jim and his team also regularly give of their time and talent. They volunteer for service days across the organization, run back to school and holiday drives for kids experiencing homelessness, even taking time to wrap presents themselves alongside our staff. Jim is the very definition of a leader in our community, and I can think of no individual who better exemplifies the spirit of this award. Jim, my deep thank you and congratulations.
Hi, Vin. I want to thank you very much. Appreciate the award that was presented, but I have to say this really is awarded to our staff. During the course of the year, our staff put in over 5,000 hours of volunteer work in the marketplace. You know, the numbers and the work that are done at the Y every day are tremendous. If you look at the 38 locations that you're in one way or another involved, helping people in the community. The 6 camps, I think the 6 camps that you're at, our staff have been involved in painting it, all of them, and do landscaping in those areas. If you look at the camps, the young kids during the summer are there. They receive free 40,000 meals that are taken during the course of the year. And so they have an enormous impact on the lives that people have with their families that are in difficult periods of time. Clearly, we need help from all of you who are looking at what's taking place at the Y and your support for the Y. This is a very difficult period of time, and the challenges that are on the organization. You know, since March through this period of time with the virus, they've been serving 5,000 meals per week to help people that otherwise, because school has been a problem, taking care of those children. So there's an enormous need, both now and over the year going forward, given where we are in the middle of this virus. So I want to thank you all in the past that have provided to help with the Y, and if possible, would like to have everyone provide a bit more, because this is more of a challenging period that we all have. So I want to thank you, and again, Vin, thank you very much, and be assured this summer I'll have my paint-a-brush available to hit whatever camp you tell me to. So good luck with the year. Thank you.
I'm so privileged to honor our friends at Sullivan Tire tonight with the Call to Action Award. In 2013, the Y and Sullivan Tire developed a deep partnership that went well beyond financial support. Sullivan Tire employees mobilized to become consistent YMCA volunteers and have since visited multiple programs and branches to engage directly with our participants. From collecting holiday gifts to reading to children in our childcare sites, Sullivan Tire employees have shown up time and time again to serve the community. Because of them, we've been able to better support our mentoring matches, arrange college tours, provide kids with back-to-school supplies, and create community gardens. And that's only the beginning. Sullivan Tire has committed to driving positive change by investing in community organizations like the Y and countless others, with a focus on education, health, and global economic empowerment. We're lucky to call them a friend to the Y. Our entire community is lucky to have such a socially responsible corporate partner. I am so pleased to present tonight's award to Paul Sullivan, Vice President, and Joe Zacchio, CFO of the Sullivan Tire family.
Good evening. On behalf of the entire Sullivan Tire organization, we're thrilled to be receiving the Call to Action Award at the 4th Annual Rise Up Gala. We also want to take a moment and recognize the wonderful work that Jim Blake and the Harbor One Bank people do. They give so much to so many. The Y have been doing just wonderful, wonderful work for so many years, as we all know, with health and fitness, with daycare, with the summer camps. To see the young people come from the inner city down to Plymouth for a swim, for arts and crafts, is just wonderful to see. You really have to be there to see it. They also do a tremendous job with the disenfranchised, the people who need mental advocacy, the homeless, in providing care for those people, and providing food and nutrition for so many during these dire times that unfortunately so many have faced. But thank you for being here, And please continue to support this wonderful, wonderful organization that does so many great things for so many people. Joe.
Yes, we at Sullivan Tire have been very happy to be part of the organization of the YMCA for many, many years. Our employees have donated countless hours, whether it be reading at the Taunton Daycare Center, sponsoring mentorship programs, and also sponsoring visits to colleges so that prospective students can see what it would be like attending college. In these tough times now, the needs of the Y have never been greater, whether it be helping sponsor some of their meal programs, virtual counseling sessions, as well as providing daycare for first responders and emergency workers. So please, we thank you for your time and your attention to this matter, and thank you for your continued support.
So thank you to Jim Blake of Harbor One Bank and Sullivan Tire. Talk about legends for their unwavering support of the Old Colony YMCA. We know that beyond your important financial support, your volunteers have engaged to help multiple branches throughout the region. And you've also been an integral part of helping engage the community in this incredible work. I want to take a moment to thank the staff of the Y. It's just unbelievable what they do each and every day. You've seen some examples of it through this virtual gala tonight. Their work provides programs as well as services all year long, and particularly during this pandemic. The Old Colony Y has been there, rising up in unprecedented ways. But they can't do it alone. They need help from community partners, volunteers, sponsors, and/or donors. So those of you who have helped us so far tonight, we really, really thank you. You don't have to give alone. You can call a friend or a relative, tell them about all the good work that's going on at the Old Colony YMCA. And by the way, the silent auction is going to stay open until 9 o'clock tonight. You'll find the link to donate or bid in the chat box at the close of the event. And by the way, you can also donate through our text to give option. Keep that in mind. And as a reminder, you can continue to give to the Fund a Need program. You will be making a life-changing gift. And I do have this updated news. So far, we've raised $22,000 tonight, and we are approaching $500,000 total. That's $500,000. Oh, and by the way, I just learned that we did sell that second trip to Antigua for $2,000 to Sarah Person. So Sarah, thank you for your generosity, and have a wonderful trip. You've deserved it, Lord knows. And remember, $5,000 can impact a family facing homelessness for an entire year. $2,500 provides 1,000 meals to families who are struggling. $1,000 provides 4 weeks of safe, affordable childcare. $500 provides 2 weeks of summer camp for a child. $250 provides school supplies and critical technology for students so they can continue their education. And $100 will pay for a counseling session for those who are underinsured or who need emergency care. Imagine that during these trying times. This is so important, especially during this mental health crisis. Please give whatever you can. I promise you will make a difference. As we have all witnessed here tonight, you have all made a difference. And the funds directly support the work of the Y during these most difficult times. You've heard from Allison, from Christy, and Molly tonight. You've seen the direct impact the Y has made on their lives, and the Y continues to make an impact, and I think we would be well off to remember Irene's words. She says, and I quote, "I am an example of a return on human investment. There is no doubt a better investment can't be found." And in a few minutes, we're going to have an incredible performance by my favorite new young artist, Tamira. That's going to be awesome. I am absolutely her biggest fan, and she will blow you away. Before we do that, we need to hear from a local Boston Bruin. And right now, I'm really excited to introduce an old pal who was actually on stage with me at the Gala last year. It's great to see him doing so well. And I know all of you who attended last year will be happy to hear from Julian Rosa. Here he is.
Good evening. I'm Julian. The YMCA has brightened my future and given me hope that I can be successful in this world and overcome even the most difficult obstacles in life.
Hey guys, this is Julian from the old Colony Y. You may remember me from the Gala last year. I was the keynote speaker. I just wanted to give you guys an update on how I'm doing. I'm currently working at the Taunton Y as the head guard, and I just want to give you guys a huge thank you for all the support and help you guys have given over the years. It's much appreciated, and I hope you guys are all doing well.
Hey everybody, it's Charlie Coyle here from the Boston Bruins. I wanted to thank you all for tuning in tonight to the Old Colony YMCA's 4th annual Rise Up Gala. I'm from right up the road in Weymouth, so I know all about the impact of the YMCA in this area. There are really few places that represent the community like the Y does. It's a place where people from all walks of life can come together for a common cause, the same way different players come together to form a team. And now more than ever, the team at the Y is stepping up to serve kids and families in the community. Throughout the pandemic, the Y has been there to provide essential services to the people who need them most. From childcare to mental health, summer camp to emergency shelter, and everything in between. The Y is always there to serve. It's hard nowadays to find someone who hasn't been affected by the spread of COVID-19. It's touched every part of our lives, but it is comforting to know that places like the Y exist in such challenging times. And it's incredible to hear the stories of people positively impacted by the Y, including our old friends, Irene, Claudio, and Julian. I hope you remember those faces and names as you continue to support this organization and all the good work it's doing to help those most in need. Thank you, have a great night, and go Bruins.
Go Bruins indeed, and thank you, Charlie Coyle, local kid and a Y kid. So thank you, Charlie, for joining us on our first virtual gala. I hope you enjoyed our 4th annual Rise Up Gala, as everybody did. Want to get to a few more messages. First of all, the good news, more donations are flooding in. Thank you, Nancy Gammons, Ann and Dave Timbrell, Barbara Hassan, for your amazing support. And by the way, interesting point, since we're talking about donations, we are ever so close to the $500,000 mark. Let's have a final push. Bring the donations in right now. Let's get over that $500,000 mark. And even though we weren't able to join together in person, I hope you enjoyed tonight as much as I did. I just want to say it was an honor for me to be here. We had a lot of fun. Bottom line, we raised a lot of money. We got it done. We celebrated our honorees and supported the work of the Old Colony YMCA. And you know what? We did it the only way we could. What better way to spend the night than tonight, right? And do it virtually, at home, on a comfortable couch. I hope you'll continue bidding on those great silent auctions. Again, the silent auction open till 9 o'clock tonight. And remember, the link is in the chat box in case you haven't started bidding yet. And the auction will stay open for another hour, closing at 9. So once tonight ends, the donations don't have to end. We want to shoot over that $500,000 mark. So you can still visit oldcolonyymca.org. You can do that anytime you want. And you can still support our Fund a Need programs. Please share the link of tonight's event with someone who may have missed it so that we can continue to spread the meaningful work of the incredible Y that we all love so much. So as I promised earlier, the great performance you don't want to miss is about to happen. Great things, they say, come in small packages, and this is no exception. I am excited to introduce you to Amira Humphreys, who's going to sing us out tonight. Believe it or not, Amira has been singing since the age of 1 and has been featured in various local talent shows. Her biggest accomplishment so far was opening for Erica Campbell and Yolanda Adams. That's pretty amazing, and I know she will amaze you with her voice as she did with me. Like I said, I am her new biggest fan. We look forward to seeing you next year, hopefully in person. Until then, be well and be safe, and good night. And here now is Amira.